Hello, golfers. One debate, which is as old as the game of golf itself, is whether the game is physical or mental. Actually, they're both equally important because one without the other would make no sense.
The mental aspect is important because it can either facilitate or interfere with movement that is well learned. The physical aspect, on the other hand, is equally important because a golf swing is best accomplished by positioning the joints involved in the movement based on what their specific design constraints actually permit, so that the downswing can have no restrictions and flow smoothly. Once the physical has been attended to, how can we make sure that the central nervous system permits the swing to flow without miscuing it? That can be achieved with the help of consciousness. Many think consciousness is some far out esoteric mumbo jumbo, but actually it is a science that has been as well researched as many others. A prestigious Scientific American article explains that consciousness is everything a human being personally experiences in a subjective manner. The article describes the research that shows which actual parts of the brain are involved in consciousness. The authors looked for the neuronal correlates of consciousness and discovered that the posterior parts of the brain are involved in specific conscious experiences. Thus, consciousness is not merely philosophical mumbo jumbo, but has a quantum mechanical or molecular basis and can be used to change a person's perception and thus actions. My guest for this post is Fatia Betcher of Golf by Tour Miss. As a PGA and European PGA Tour journalist, she spent many years observing the top players of the world and collecting data on them. She discovered that some of them consciously use consciousness techniques to perform better. She has studied the subject in depth and has also successfully coached many golfers and non golfers in the techniques of awareness or self talk, in other words, of consciousness. She believes a golfer can access the greatest version of himself or herself and get into a state of mind that allows the person to access the best information they have learned. So, Fatiha, could you please offer some tips for how champions and average golfers both can use consciousness to improve their games?
Been reporter in golf for last 12 years. So I traveled with the PGA Tour, European Tour, and I coached some players as well. I met some businessmen who they used consciousness to reach greatness.
So, why did you think of coaching PGA and European Tour on consciousness? For what reason?
Because the mental is almost maybe 90% for me to uh, to be successful in anything, in any domain, not only golf. It means when we do something, we need to focus on the process.
So, you're saying consciousness and awareness and focusing on the process are the same thing?
Absolutely, it's you put yourself in the state of uh, like uniqueness. You do only one thing. You focus on one thing at the time until you finish. Then you move to another thing. It means no distractions at all.
So, suppose I'm about to hit the shot that will win me a tournament. At that moment, before I even decide what club, I've just walked up to my ball, I have yet to decide what club to use. What are the processes I should go through to have awareness or consciousness and focus on only one thing at a time?
The process is self-talk. It means you speak with yourself and you take a decision within yourself about the shoes of the club, golf club, or the distance. Whatever the process you have to do, you need to do it with self-talk voice.
Can you give me an example of self-talk for golfers?
It means you have to be in conscious state, optimum self of awareness. It means you have the surrounding all the information of the surrounding of yourself toward anything in the environment or what the task you are going to do. It means you know the club head, how far is it from you, from the ball, from the grass. It means you know the position of yourself as well if you are facing the target. And you record yourself. It's biohacking. You hack yourself. Well, you record every single thing you do consciously, and it's done simultaneously. It means your self is recording itself.
So can you give me some exercises or drills to get into a state of awareness for any golfer?
For golfers, I think I know very well the domain because I've been speaking with a lot of people. The best thing to do is stay solitaire. It means during the tournament or practice, wherever, you need to be alone. It doesn't matter if you have a coach, if you have a caddy or anyone helping you, you need to work with them and then be with yourself, within yourself at any time, even if you have people around you. It means you are the one that validate the shot you are going to execute. You take information and then you make a decision and you hit the shot.
How will my consciousness and awareness help with the actual swing that I make?
Consciously. When you play golf, you need to do it consciously. It means every step, every shot you do, every movement, you are aware of it. With the self-talk, it's all self-talk within yourself that validate I am tracking myself. I know what I am doing. I know what I am doing now, what I'm going to do next, what I did last time too, or the previous shot.
Suppose the previous shot is not a good shot. How do I don't want to have it in my consciousness anymore, or should I still have the consciousness of the previous shot, what went wrong and what I need to do this time?
At the time, you need to fix what you did wrong. You need to be aware. You need to know it straight away what you did wrong. Before you move to the next shot, the last shot you did bad, you need to have feedback, like instant feedback straight away, and then for next you do it better. You need to know, good or bad shot, you need to know why you did it, how you did it, for yourself.
Suppose as many pros even have unreliable golf swings, they cannot predict whether it's going to go left or right. So how should they talk to themselves? To have self-talk which is meaningful.
It's very important to believe on what you are going to do right before you do it, because the thought, what are the thoughts? Thought, they are like projection for the future. It means, well, if you think you are going to do that, you're going to get to that point, you are going to do it. But if you don't do self-talk, you have no indication of what you are going to do, where you are going. So if you say to yourself, I am going to hit that in the right, first cut, rough, or whatever you are going to do it, and you are going to do it good. Only self-talk that get you to that. 99% of chances your shot will be good if anticipate with the self-talk.
Oh, that's very useful information. So give me one exact example of a swing thought or a consciousness thought I should have when I'm about to make my most important golf shot of my round of golf.
You have no thought at all except what you are going to do. Right now, in the now moment, you need to be in the now moment. You don't need to go to the past. Only if you need something from the past, but you need to go on, put the button on to go and come back to the now moment. Put yourself in the state of flow. It means you let everything, all the knowledge, all what you learned to do the trick. It's skills. The skills you learn them to be used. So when you are on the state of flow, you let yourself to jump in the past, the future, but everything happening now, coming back. It means if you have to think about something else you did yesterday, you don't stay there. You just come back to the now to achieve your shot, to hit whatever you have decision to make. You need to do it in the now moment. This is very, very important.
Does it take a lot of practice to get in the now moment?
To be in the now moment, you need to avoid distraction. Whatever distraction is positive or negative, it's pleasing you or displeasing you. You need to remove it voluntarily. It means you need to control your emotion. Controlling your emotion, it means remember, use your memory of bad emotion to switch off, and use a memory of good emotion to switch off as well, because positive emotion affect us the worst. When we have something make us happy, we can focus in the now moment. So switch off all the distraction, positive or negative.
Thank you very much, Fatia, for all your useful advice.
Surely a golf swing with very specific steps would allow a person to focus on one thought at a time, as Fatiha recommends, and also give one the opportunity to fix any past mistakes more easily, because only the few specific things one is required to do could have been omitted,